Hello and welcome. Good afternoon to everyone who is watching from Nigeria, and to those of you who are watching from America. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Yes, because it's good morning now in America. It's good to be here again. Today it's 1 p.m. Nigerian time, and this is Verses and Paragraphs and everything in between. We're transmitting live on Facebook Live. Today is the 25th of April 2018, and of course, unlike yesterday when it was blazing hot, today, according to the weather app, it says light thunderstorms and rain. I would have really loved to transmit from outside, but it's drizzling and I'm going to get wet. But hey, it is still cool nonetheless, and I'm still sweating a little bit, but it is a beautiful day, and welcome to everyone who is joining us on this broadcast. Today we'll be talking about verbs and the way we use verbs. And some of these verbs that we're talking about, Oluwafunta, it's good to have you on Verses and Paragraphs. Thank you for joining our live broadcast. I have been missing you. I don't know what happened, but it's good to have you here today. I missed you. Mukhtar, I don't know where you're watching from. I refuse to tell where you're watching from, but for wherever you're watching from, thank you for joining our live broadcast. Today, we will be talking about verbs. And these verbs talking about must, have to, and need. Now, all these verbs, they are synonyms of one another and are used to mean that something is necessary or required. But they each have slightly different connotations and uses. If you go to a dictionary, like for instance, if you use the Encarta dictionary and you type the word must, it will give you the definition of must. And when you type synonym, you definitely will see have or need. And my sister Ella is joining us all the way from Edinburgh in Scotland. Thank you for joining our live broadcast. Hello, Oluwafunta. Ça va? Did I get that right? Oluwafunta is watching from France. Is it ça va? Look, I'll tell you, bonjour, bon après-midi from them, bonjour, bon après-midi, is ça va. Then we're talking about verbs. The verbs must, have to, and need. I was saying a while ago that they are synonyms of one another and are used to mean that something is necessary or required, but they each have slightly different connotations and uses. And as I was saying, if you look, oh, she says she misses me. Oh, the time difference is still strange. But how many hours difference do we have between France and Nigeria? Anyhow, like I was saying, if you type any of these verbs in the dictionary, after they give you the meaning, if you use the Encarta dictionary, you type must. Then when you click on synonyms, you definitely will see have and need, and the other way around. So they're all synonyms of one another. Ça va bien, merci, et vous? I'm speaking French to Oluwafunta is watching from France. Now let's talk about need, the verb need. Need, when followed by to, and the verb is the narrowest of the three verbs. It is most often used to say that an action should be done. For instance, you say, I need to wash my dirty clothes. I need to sweep the house. I need to clean the kitchen. I need to wash the plates. That is when you use need followed by to and then the verb. So I need to wash my clothes. I need to wash my clothes. It is also used to say that it is very important and necessary for something to do something. So you use the verb need. You use need when followed by to, and a verb when you want to say that an action should be done. I need to wash my clothes. I need to do my homework. I need to clean the kitchen. I need to sweep my room. Then it's also used to say that it is very important and necessary for someone to do something. So this is the second usage of the verb need. I need to call my mom and find out how my dad's surgery went. That means it is necessary and very important for me to call my mom and find out how the surgery went. So first we have We use need when we want to say an action should be done, as in I need to wash my dirty clothes, I need to trim my hair, I need to wash my face, I need to clean the kitchen. And then you also use need when you want to say something, when you want to say it is very important and necessary for you to do that thing. So I need to call my mom and find out from her, because it's very, very important and necessary. Your dad had a surgery, so you need to call your mom. Then another example is, she didn't want to go into town, but she needed to buy groceries. It's important and necessary. If she didn't go into town, then of course she would starve because she couldn't have her groceries. So when it is very important and necessary for someone to do something, then you can use need. I need to follow, that is need followed by to, and then the verb. So we've used to now. Something that is to take an action, and then when something is very important and very necessary. Then the other verbs, must and have to, are much broader. They can both be used to say that something is required or is necessary. For example, we must go to the post office. It is important, it is required, it is necessary. Or you could say we have to go to the post office. So you can use them interchangeably. Either we must go to the post office because it is required and it is necessary, or we have to go to the post office. Then both must and have to can both be used to say that something is required by law. For example, you must file your taxes by April the 15th. Or you have to file your taxes by April the 15th. So it is required by law, it is important, and it is necessary. So if you do not file your taxes by April 15th, of course, IRS will be knocking at your door. Then they can also be used to say that something is very likely. We're talking about must and have to. They are much broader than the verb need. So it can also be used to say that something is likely. For instance, it must be 90 degrees in here. It must be. It must be. Or you can say it has to be 90 degrees in here. So when you're using the must and have, as if something is likely, very likely. It's very likely that inside this place is 90 degrees. So it has to be, it must be. Then have to and can be used to add emphasis to a statement. I must know, where did you get those shoes? I have to know, where did you get your shoes? In this instance, they are being used for emphasis. Fumitella, thank you so much for joining our live broadcast. The program is verses and paragraphs and everything in between, and today we are talking about the verbs have, to, must, and need. And they are all synonyms of one another, but they can be used interchangeably. So we just talked about how we can use need in sentences, and now we're talking about how we can make use of must and have to in sentences. Now we said that must and have to are much broader than when you use the verb need, and they can both be used to say that something is required or is necessary, as in we must go to the post office or we have to go to the post office. It's necessary, it is required. And they can both be used to say that something is required by law. Salamatu Sule, thank you so much for joining our live broadcast all the way from Abuja. It's good to have you on. We are talking about verbs. The verbs must, need to, and have to. Is there any difference between these verbs? They all are used interchangeably because they are all synonyms of one another. If you go to the Encarta dictionary and you type in any of these verbs, after they have been given the meaning and you click on synonyms, you definitely will see one is a synonym of the other. So we are talking about how to use them in sentences. I was just saying that both have to and must can be used to add emphasis to a statement, as in, I must know, where did you get your shoes? Or I have to know, where did you get your shoes? So you can use them when you want to emphasize something in a statement. They are also, both words can also be used to communicate a desire for something to happen. You must come visit us. you have to come visit us, which means we would like you to visit us. So this is when you use both must and have to interchangeably in sentences. They always require something to use for emphasis. And then finally, both have to and must can be used in questions or statements to convey anger or irritation, though with slightly different constructions. Thank you, Dr. Raphael James. I call him my brother from another mother. Dr. Raphael James runs a free library, the Cream Library in Ejigbo here. I call him my brother from another mother. Thank you so much for joining our live broadcast. Temitope Ojola, please, is watching all the way from Abuja. Thank you so much for joining our live broadcast. We're talking about verbs and how they are used in sentence. And these verbs talking about need to, have to, and must. And we're talking about how we can use must and have to. They are broader and they are used for similar purposes. Now, in this particular way, they can be used in questions or statements to convey anger or irritation, though with slightly different constructions. Must you be so annoying? Do you have to be so annoying? We have used must and have, and they are using questions. And then, why must it rain on our wedding day? Why does it have to rain on our wedding day? In all cases, must is more formal than have to. There is, however, one more use of have to that is unique. If you have to finish something, or have something to do or to finish, that means that the thing mentioned has to be done in order to complete a task. For instance, I only have 6 more pages to read and then I'm done with the book. Or I only have to read 6 more pages and then I am done with the book. So I just like to do a slight recap because of those who have joined in. Why we were talking about the verbs need, have to, and must. They're all synonyms of one another, and they are used to mean that something is necessary or required, but they each have slightly different connotations and uses. Need, when followed by to and a verb, is the narrowest of 3 verbs, and it is most often used to say that an action should be done. When you want to say I need to do something, not I must do something. I must is required, but when you say need to, it means that an action should be done. As in, I need to wash my clothes today, I need to sweep my room, I need to clean the house, I need to prepare my breakfast, I need to iron my clothes. When you want to say an action should be done. And it's also used to say that it is very important and necessary for someone to do something. I need to call my mother to find out how my father's surgery went. It is important and it is necessary for you to do that thing. So that's when you say you need to. And then, she didn't want to go into town, but she needed to buy groceries. And you know what that means? She didn't feel like going, but she just had to. So an action had to be done. She just had to go into town, or else her kitchen would be empty, no groceries, no food to eat. And for some of us, we can't do without food. That's why some of us fasting. Then I was talking about must and have to, that they are much broader, and they can both be used to say that something is required or is necessary. We must go to the post office. It is necessary for us to go. Or you can say we have to go to the post office. They can both be used to say that something is required by law. You must file your taxes by April the 15th. Or you have to file your taxes by April the 15th. It is something that is required by law. So you use must or have to. They're used interchangeably. And they can also be used to say that something is very likely. It must be 60 degrees in here. It has to be 90 degrees in here. Both have to and must can be used also to add emphasis to a statement. I must know, where did you get your shoes? Or I have to know, I emphasize, and I have to know, where did you get your shoes? And then they can also use them to communicate a desire for something to happen, as in, you must come visit us. You have to, you just have to visit, you just have to. So you're communicating a desire. We want you to come and would like you to come and visit us. So you must come visit us. You just have to come and visit us. And then finally, we talked about using have to and must in questions or statements to convey anger or irritation, though with slightly different constructions. Must you be so annoying? Must you be so annoying? Do you have to be so annoying? You know? And then somebody's bemoaning, why must it rain on our wedding day? Why does it have to rain on our wedding day? In all cases, must is more formal than have to. And then there's another one more use of have to that is unique. If you have to do something, if you have to finish something or have something to do, that means that the thing mentioned has to be done in order to complete a task. I only have 6 more pages to read and then I'm done with the book. I only have to read. It's something, you just have to finish it. So that's where you use have to. I only have to read 6 more pages and then I'm done with the book. So that is, others are talking about verbs, and the verbs need, must, and have to. And now for those of us who write, but the thing is that everybody writes, everybody uses some form of writing. Everybody, even when you're using your phone to do Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you're writing. So I want to give a brief history of writing instruments. I'm sure most of us know this right there. I'm looking for this because I'm sweating. I'm looking for the tissue. I don't find. All right, I want to give you a brief history of writing instruments. Now, the very first one, which dates back to how many BC, is the stylus. The stylus was the writing utensil of choice, and was generally made of metal or bone, and was used to incise letters into tablets with wax or clay. Stylus. Now, even though that stylus was there many years ago, today we also use a stylus, but we use it refers to a pen-shaped device which is used to input drawings or notes into a computer, tablet, or smartphone. So people have this thing that they use, and then they touch their phone or their iPad, and that is called a stylus. But the stylus was first used way in so many centuries BC, before Christ. And it was used in all those writings that you see, they call cuneiform or whatever. But all the writings that used to be had before, they were they were called stylus. Then we have the quill. The quill, at times you see people, they have this graphic illustration of what a quill is like. And it fueled most written communication from the 6th to the 19th century. At times when they're showing some of these historical films, you see when they want to sign something, you see that brings out a quill, and it's always in ink to write. Quills were made of hollow bird feathers, most commonly goose feathers, although you could have feathers from swans, crows, eagles, and what have you. So we talked about stylus. Stylus was this pointed thing, and it was generally made of metal, or to make incision or letters in to a tablet which was covered in a thin layer of wax or clay. If you didn't have wax or clay, there's no way you could have written on it. And then you have chalk. How many of us know chalk? Men traditionally made of soft limestone and used to write on blackboards or slates. But now it is made of gypsum. Gypsum is that material they used to make plaster of Paris. And that's what they now use to make chalk. In many schools, blackboards and chalk have been replaced. Many schools can I still think there are many schools still use blackboard and chalk. And, okay, so we've talked about quill, we've talked about stylus, and now we're talking about pencil. And the person who invented the modern pencil, invented it in the 1790s. His name was Nicolas Jacques, in Napoleon Bonaparte's army. He was the one who invented the modern pencil. Pencils, as we all know, are made of graphite encased in wood. And then the pen. The fountain pen was the first type of pen that didn't require the user to dip the nib in order to write. Fountain pens first appeared in 1880s, and ballpoint pens appeared as early as the 1890s. As ballpoint, that's what is the biro. Biro is actually the name of the person who invented that particular one. But anything that we use to write is called biro or biro, depending on whatever part of the country or world you come from. But in Nigeria, if it's not biro, it is biro or big. Big is also a trade name. And then you have felt-tipped pens were only introduced in the 1960s. And finally, first was a typewriter, then it became a computer. Now it is the touch screen, and plays a major role in modern communication. The inventor of the typewriter was Christopher Shaw. So there you have it, a brief history about all our writing instruments. Now, as usual, we have our word of the day. Our word of the day is velitation. V-E-L-I-T-I, velitation. And velitation means a minor dispute or a contest. So if you have a minor dispute, maybe you're arguing over something, but just a minor one that does not get heated and does not result in blows, it is called velitation. So they were engaged in a velitation. Dr. Raphael James, they were engaged in a velitation. I'm going to hold up the spelling of velitation. V-E-L-I-T-A-T-I-O-N, velitation. Velitation is a minor dispute or a contest, a minor contest. Maybe a contest that, okay, who's going to finish eating the food? It is a velitation. Who's going to eat the food first? Who's going to finish their food first? Maybe because they want something. But let's see who can finish their bottle of. I think, where did I go to where there was a Pepsi contest, that they wanted to see who could finish this or about Pepsi the first, and it was two girls who they held that contest. So I think that's a minor contest, so that could be velitation. And then our quotable quote for today, daily inspiration. I think Thanksgiving, gratitude. Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year. Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year. We're talking about quotes that make you to be grateful on a daily and on a constant basis. So this quote was written by Ralph Waldo Emerson. He was an American essayist, lecturer, philosopher, and poet who led the transcendentalist movement of the mid-19th century. And with that, I think we've just come to the end of our broadcast. I would like to thank everyone who joined this broadcast from France, from Edinburgh, from Abuja, from Lagos here. Where else again? Can I remember where? But thank you everyone for joining this live broadcast. Without you, I couldn't have done it. Thank you so much. Today is tomorrow is another day. Today we finished it's over, but today's broadcast is over. So I'll see you. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, and I'd like to know, so if you are actually taking away something. I know that some people are actually taking away things, and it makes me happy. I'm missing my favorite family, the youngsters who watch from Dallas, because my last talking about weird plurals. One of them said he was going to make use of one of the words, and he actually did, and that gives me pleasure, which means that you're learning something. Even yesterday, when my brother Fred joined, he said he actually learned something, because yesterday we were talking about famous phrases that we always use wrong. So thank you everyone for joining the broadcast. I look forward to seeing you every day. Do check my Facebook page from time to time, and I'll be putting up things that we might have said on the program. And if you would like to watch this or other broadcasts that have gone on before, you can check them out on my YouTube channel. Just type my name, Erumena Amata, and you get to my YouTube channel. There's so many episodes that you can watch. Thank you so much. I would like to wish everyone a pleasant rest of the day. So see you tomorrow. Bye.